What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the Watch Before You Die podcast. If you are new to the podcast, this is a podcast where we roll a random number, we watch a random movie, and we review that movie, and then we give you the review. So this week we were tasked with watching the movie Drugstore Cowboy, which was a 1980s film about a little group of friends slash family with drug addictions and
The
their
Friends
story.
movie.
Yeah, I mean they were friends. I don't think they were
That's a
family, right?
take.
But it was a little, it's a little buddy film kind of a thing.
Little
Um,
different type of friends than us, but yeah,
yeah,
they're friends.
absolutely. They were friends in some regards. So that is what we watched, and I think I said to Justin before we started the podcast. I think we speed run it. We just jump in and we just go for it. So I'm gonna get Brian's rating first because Brian always. Fun fact: Brian always has the lowest score.
Not
Just
always.
almost always, with the exception
Yes,
of one
correct.
movie. Justin always has the highest score, with the exception of one movie, and I am always in
Yeah.
the middle. So we are going to go with Brian's thoughts first. Go ahead, Brian.
I'm gonna give it a 7.2.
Okay, 7.2. Okay. Justin, your rating?
I'm gonna give it. I was tempted to give it a 7.1 just to not be the highest.
My man is
but
coming off of a perfect 10 score.
Yeah.
By the way,
I am gonna give this one a decent rating though. I'm gonna give it a 7.9.
Okay,
Keep
7.9.
things fresh and fruity.
Okay. I am going to give this film an 8.3.
All
Okay.
right.
so with an 8.3 from Ben, a 7.2 from me, and a 7.9 from Justin, our average score or overall score is 7.8.
Okay. 7.8. Do we want to talk about it? So this is the freshest movie for us. We literally just finished
Literally
just
just
finished
watched the whole
watching
thing.
it. We just watched it all right at the same time, and now we are
Because
jumping right
last
into
watch
it.
party did not go well for us.
No, last watch party we never finished the movie. Two of us. One of us did. That would be Brian. So I think we go with lowest to highest. So we'll get Brian's thoughts first on why you have it the lowest.
As per usual.
Yeah, as per
So-
usual.
I feel like I always have to go first until I find my perfect 10 movie.
Yeah.
No,
You won't.
I actually did enjoy this movie. It's kind of, I'm basing my ratings off of my other ratings of movies.
Okay.
The whole time I was watching this movie, I was thinking, this is kind of like a Train Spotting ripoff, right? So I had to look up when Train Spotting came out, and this is 6 years before Train Spotting came out. So this is technically, they did it first. And so if anything, flip that around. I thought the story was actually pretty good. It didn't feel as long as I thought it would. And I did like a lot of things about the movie. The one thing that I have to say though is I would rather watch The Farewell, which is the movie that we watched before this. I'd rather watch that movie again than watch this movie again.
Okay.
Because I did enjoy that movie more. So it was hard for me to get above that in the rankings. A couple of things I did not like. I didn't think Rick was a very good actor. Rick
Okay.
being Bob's henchman or muscle friend.
Interesting. So by the way, we are getting into spoilers at this point.
Yeah,
So if you
let's
haven't watched
jump
it,
into spoilers.
you can stop here and then come back for the next movie at the end. But we are going to get into spoilers. So sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, you're good. I didn't think Rick was the best actor. His emotions weren't so good. His choreography, throwing a punch at Matt Dillon, he just literally hit the door. It wasn't even close.
Mhm.
And half of his lines were just Bob. He said his name so
You
many
can't
times, I
speak
was gonna
bad of
forget
the
it.
dead.
But it's a 1989 movie. I got to go easy on it. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the premise of it. It was a great movie. It just doesn't score that high for me.
Okay. Justin, you're middle of
It
the you
might
are middle of the
be-
pack for the first time ever in the history of the show. So give us your middle of the road thoughts here.
I did my best to stay above everybody else. That's why I should have gone last, I think. But I think this is probably the best acting Matt Dillon's ever done. I'm not a Matt Dillon fan.
I'm gonna be straightforward with you. I couldn't name another Matt Dillon movie.
I couldn't name any good ones.
I couldn't name any. Period.
Yeah.
Name me one
Yeah.
more movie Matt Dillon's been in.
He
So I
was
just
in shoot, what was the name of that movie? What's the one with Charlie Sheen's wife that they got divorced or whatever? It's the one with the Bayou, the chick from Scream. She in it? She might not even be in that movie.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Anyway,
Anyways,
he's in it with
unrelated.
Kevin Bacon. Anyway, yeah, completely unrelated. I think Matt Dillon did a really good job. The thing that was interesting about this movie to me was what they did get really well. What they did really well, I guess. I can't speak for anybody else but me, but having worked in homeless shelters, that is what drug addicts act like. The whole way through the movie, Matt Dillon and Diane, who I think was his wife, I'm not really sure.
He said so, yeah.
He and anyway, so I mean that's what I know of people who I've experienced who are drug addicts. I can't say all of them are like that, but just the little quirks and things. The first time he got high on screen, he was doing that weird rocking thing and little tremors and like the way that they touch their faces and that's kind of nervous ticks and things like that.
I literally had in my notes that Matt Dillon was a better drugged actor than sober actor. He delivered a lot of his drug lines so much better than his sober lines.
Yeah,
and I noticed that the first time he took like the heavier or the stronger drug, he was doing that thing with his jaw where he is like kind of feeling out like, where his teeth are supposed to sit in his mouth and stuff like that. It was very accurate.
Yeah,
So,
and down to like the
credit to
things that
that.
they would say, the superstitions, the the hat on the bed, the dog thing, and the dog I think was a little bit more specific, but that is precisely what I've experienced in trying to like because for people that may not know, pastor as well as working with the homeless and homeless shelters and things like that, and trying to I wouldn't say I counsel people. I don't really. That's not how I feel. But like trying to like get people to feel okay. I guess calming people down, de-escalating situations, talking to people who are have faith and that kind of thing, and trying to listen to a drug addict talk about their faith or what their beliefs are. This is very much the way that they kind of framed their lives according to this hat or having to get on the road and at the drop of a hat literally just all the different things that happened and the stories that they would tell each other and the way that they would relate to one another. That is what I experienced, and that's it was eerily close to real life. And so I don't know how they did their research, but they did a great job. And then the story kind of wrapped up really nicely for me. Do we know if he died? He didn't die.
He didn't die.
He got in the hospital in the ambulance and went down
I would
the road.
argue that there's more. They almost give like a not a premonition
epilogue.
Yeah, no, almost like a he might have relapsed, kind of a like they
Exactly.
almost point to the reality of like what he sought his whole life and then gave up. They are now bringing him back to like almost like it was God giving him what he was meant to have because the loop had been closed as far as his story went.
Right. They fulfilled the dog bad luck. They fulfilled the hat thing.
I was going to ask you guys what you guys' take was on the final line of that movie, where he went from like, hey, I'm straightening my life out. I don't want anything to do with it. Blah, 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 blah. Then he gets shot and he's like kind of at peace. Like, I know what's going to happen next. And then in the ambulance, he's like, all these corny cops are taking me straight to paradise where there's like tons of drugs in the hospital. Like they're driving me to the biggest pharmaceutical location in the area. Like, I feel like, that to me, that was the ending or the interpretation I took at least
that's how I
now that my hex is done. Back on it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's very much a lot of those journeys that you hear about. Thankfully, I've never had to go down those journeys, but, a lot of it turns into, why are you getting help? Why are you doing the withdrawal program? Because it wasn't a rehab program, it was a withdrawal program.
Mm-hmm.
Because probably anybody, and his character wouldn't have gone to a rehab program, because at some point he would have had to make amends and had to right wrongs and things like that, and probably tell somebody that, and turn himself in that
Mm-hmm.
that this girl had died, and he'd hid her body in a crawl space of an attic, and then
Woods.
buried her somewhere in the
Yeah.
woods, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. So it was very interesting. I think some people could look at that and say that that was a bad way to write the story. I think it's perfect. It was great.
Yeah.
Because
Um,
I would not have believed, if Diane, when she visited him in his apartment, I would not have believed the story if she was like convinced that
Mhm.
she needed to
get her
join the
life
program
straight
as
as
well.
well and change her life. I
Exactly. They
agree.
were very honest. This is who I
Yep.
am. This is what I do. And
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 hopefully
there was a
you'll come
line he
back and
said.
join us.
Yeah, and there was a line he said to the first lady at the methadone clinic, maybe, about being a counselor or something. It was like, there's nothing anybody can say that can change an addict's mind.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it was really well done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut up now because I rewatch these videos.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to hog the microphone time.
Neither of us have said anything about that, but
Let's.
that's neither
You
here.
can take your turn.
But yeah,
again
it's
with
my
the
turn.
high score.
Yeah, I had it so high for a lot of the same reasons Justin did. I mean, having worked with a lot of people who have been in drug rehabilitation and alcohol rehabilitation, like these characters were so accurate, like
Mhm.
almost scarily accurate. Like maybe they might have actually been doing some actual drugs, and maybe why Matt Dillon's acting career went poorly after this movie. But that's speculation on my part. But yeah, even down to Rick. You said you didn't like Rick's character; it was bad acting. I actually felt like I have met Rick, like I knew Rick because of
Mhm.
how dense he was and how like poorly written he was and how he only had one-liners and he seemed very like just not with the program. I'm like,
Mhm.
I've met people like that. And I've met people that, I mean, really it's a bit like, talking to what we would call like an NPC, not a real
Mhm.
like fully
There's not an
fleshed
original
out
thought. You
character.
gotta,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So it was
Well, he's
it
an
was
interesting,
interesting.
like, they call him the thug or they call him the muscle or whatever. And then, on the inside he's like a puppy. He
Yeah.
just like does whatever, Bob tells him to do. And
Yep.
I understand that character, like, and like you said, it's very accurate. The one thing I just couldn't believe was like some of his lines, like just how he delivered them. I was just like, it's mm, not
Yeah.
quite for me. But
So
I do agree that I think his character, like how it was written, and then like the way that he acted was just didn't live up quite to the character I think they were going
okay.
for.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought it was very good. I thought the music was a little underrated. Like it had a lot of nice music throughout that like added to it, and there was this paranoid music that they kept using. I'm going to use the word paranoid when things were kind of escalating, and I'm like, wow, I
Mhm.
bet having talked to people like that, like some of their lives really are truly laced with music like that. Like they're living their real life with background noise and
Mhm.
things happening that we're not experiencing, but they are because of
Ashy
yeah,
soundtracks.
yeah. I don't know about Apache or any of that,
Actually,
but
that joke will have zero basis
yeah,
for anybody that's
because
watching these
people
episodes.
don't watch
That's a
that
whole
Too
different YouTube
long.
channel.
yeah. But my man's derailed. But I thought that was great. I also thought he derailed me. I've lost my whole train of thought
I'm
there.
so sorry.
I thought the sound design was cool. Not
Sound
to
design was
interrupt.
good. Yep, I
How like
remembered. By the way, thank you for helping
during
me.
during tense scenes they had like a baby crying in the background
Yep,
because they were in like an apartment complex or in like a hotel room or
yep,
whatever, and it just kind of added to like they're feeling stress and pressure about like hiding out or like what's going on, and then just every once in a while it was just like, wow, the sound design in this movie is like I'm on drugs because it's like I'm just hearing stuff, like
yeah.
I'm hearing dogs barking and I'm hearing babies crying, and it was pretty good. It
The
was
other
well done.
the other thing I really appreciated about the movie is we watch so many modern movies now where literally everything is created by CGI. And I have to like out myself. I kind of made fun of it at the beginning. I'm like, why is the camera shaking? Because you could see visibly the camera shaking. But as the movie progressed, it made it feel so much more realistic compared to like I'm watching a perfectly polished CGI movie where everything in the backgrounds is
Tripod with a
non-existent. Yeah,
slider.
exactly. Like it really was like, oh, we're wherever they live, and I think I missed where they were actually from, but they ever mention what the city
I
was
don't
or
know
what
if they
the
mention. I
I
would
didn't
guess
pick it up.
L.A. or somewhere like that, but
Yeah,
let me
I
look it
don't
up.
know, but it very much felt like you were there and you lived there. Um so yeah, that's why I rated it as high as I did. I actually came into this movie with fairly poor expectations.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm not a fan of older films, and even though this is like a 1989 film, it's older, it's dated,
Older than me.
but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So those are my
Yeah.
thoughts. And the only other thought that I would say, and I don't want to go on a huge tangent on this, so this is like my warning to Justin. Like we'll talk about it after the podcast. There's a very strange right at the end of the movie when the main character is talking to the creepy old priest that he used to be a friends with. There's a
That guy was a
very
priest?
strange, yes.
You
There's
didn't
a
catch that he called him father like over and over.
I just
yeah.
thought that was a thing that,
No.
like it was like short speak or something.
My man's was a
Because
father.
wasn't that guy a drug addict as well?
Yes.
Well, he was a priest in the church that was dealing drugs behind the scenes, and then he finally got caught for it.
Yes.
And he had like the line was he's probably shot over $1 million worth of drugs into his own arm.
Okay,
he was
I heard that part.
like
I maybe just missed some context there. I
he was
guess.
a drug addict priest.
My
who
man was
now
using that Catholic
ain't got a
money
job
to buy some drugs, but there's a very
and sharing with the altar
strange
boys.
political agenda thrown in right at the end of the movie that felt very off set from the rest of the movie to me, that I was like, that's a bit strange. I actually was Googling because I'm like, when did this movie come out? When was Ronald Reagan president? It was a really weird thing. So I will say like that out of all the rest of the movie felt totally out of place to me. But it is what it is. So
Was it
talking
that
about, like-
era where they were cracking down on drugs, like the war on drugs and everything?
but this movie was made after that. All had already gone into
I
effect.
thought this
So
was
it
at
was
the
like
same time.
it was like the movie was trying to make a point that
Mm.
that the Republicans were putting these things
Yeah.
into place. It was like a weird, like I said, it's a really
Right,
weird
right, right,
political
right.
statement compared to the rest of the movie.
It's hard because this movie was made in 1989, so we're looking into the past for it. But it was then set. The movie was set in 1971, so it's actually a period piece
Oh,
from
okay,
a
okay.
period.
See, I did not
So
know that.
The dial
I
phone.
think what they were trying to do maybe is point to something that was going to happen in the 80s as being
Okay.
like the priest made this prediction, like I think in a couple years the right's going to do this thing, and
I
then
didn't
everybody
realize that.
like watching it at the time would be like, ha ha ha.
See, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was a period piece. I thought it was just set in the era that we're, that it was
I mean,
made, basically.
pretty close to where it was made, but
So that's really the rest of my thoughts, and I'm good to roll for another one if you guys are ready for it.
Let's do it.
I think we're all set. All right. So, like Ben said at the beginning of the podcast, we roll.
Wait.
No, just
Every
roll.
time.
Just roll.
It was a real good
Real
movie.
good movie.
Just
we go.
roll.
Every week we roll for a new movie. We have 1,241 movies remaining, and this week's lucky number is it's an old one, boys.
462.
525.
I was close.
2-5.
525. The year of our lucky movie is 1970.
Okay.
El Topo.
El
Or El Topo, if I
Topo.
pronounce it with
So
Spanish
there's a
pronunciation.
really great seltzer in
Okay.
Texas called Topo Chico.
No.
Topo Chico.
And no, you hold on, Benjamin, because I have to make at least one outrageous guess about what this movie's about.
Okay, go
And
for
what
it.
I will tell you is this movie is about the beginnings of selling Topo Chico from Mexico to the United States, specifically the state of Texas. Much in the same way that movie came out, but about McDonald's and how that got started. Proceed.
I stopped listening as soon as you started talking. I want that to
It
Already
wasn't for
nailed
you.
it.
It wasn't for you. It was for the audience.
El
Go ahead and
Topo
tell us what it
is
is.
a 1970 not rated Western drama coming in at 2 hours and 5 minutes.
All right, we got to
The
cut these
the
movies down.
basis is an outlaw, El Topo, defies the four masters of the desert for the love of a woman.
The
And
four masters of the desert.
I'm gonna stop there, but there's actually more to but I don't want to read any further because I feel
Is
like
this
it
an
might
English
spoil.
movie?
So, I have no idea if it's English. No, it is well, it's described as a Mexican acid Western art film, and it is in Spanish. So
Acid?
Okay.
that's what I said.
Looks like our best places to rent this movie. I don't see anywhere for free right off, but we're gonna have Apple TV, Amazon,
Mhm.
places like that. So
Okay. And
Topo in Spanish means to dig.
okay.
The more you know.
So, if you want to watch along with us, you can just Google it and see if you can find it. If you want to watch Drugstore Cowboy, we actually found it on Amazon Prime. It says that you watch it with ads. We never got hit with ads, none of us did. So, you might be able to just watch it. And if you want to watch any of the other films we've watched, you are more welcome to go back and look at our other episodes and
My
see
mom
what
has
we
started
scored.
watching these movies.
That's awesome. Well,
Nice.
She enjoyed Phantom Thread.
Good,
She
yeah.
said it was very
That's awesome.
specific. I can't remember
did
what
she
she
say
said
it was a
about actually.
real good movie?
Real good movie.
On that note, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend if they like movies, and we will see you on
Share
the
it with
next
your friend
one.
if they don't like movies.